All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Youmacon StarCraft 2 Winter versus Spyderslayer coming up next. Sorry about the long delay. We had some hardware issues getting worked out. Some things were plugged in and it broke some things and stuff like that and other stuff. But the lobby is all set. It is ready to go. It is going to be a pretty epic ZVZ.
Yes.
Winter versus Spyderslayer. This is a rematch from last year's Youmacon, which was a pretty interesting game, and we will see what they come up with now as I click the start. Well, I should make sure they're ready first.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Be courteous and kind.
And this is actually a really big match for today, too, because the winner of this match is basically secured into the semifinal. They can go home, they can take a nap, they can put their feet up, they can do whatever they want because they are locked in. The loser, however, has to battle their way through the loser's bracket to have another shot at the victory.
And the skill in the loser bracket is starting to stack up, too, as some of the bigger names are beginning to lose matches as the winner's bracket progresses as well. So it's not an easy path to traverse now.
Right.
But it looks like yes and ready, and here we go. Start the game. So for the long wait, it has been worth it.
Hopefully.
I promise. As we're going into this game, it is going to be Winter versus Spyderslayer. It's going to be on King Sejong Station LE. And a ZVZ, and both Masters players. I know Spyderslayer's been working really hard to get his rank up, and Winter obviously works hard all the time to keep his rank up and get his rank up. And
plays lots and lots of games.
So excited to see what happens here. I know this is a particular game that Spyderslayer was upset that he lost last year because he felt like he had a good shot at it, but now I'm sure he gets is happy to get a good chance at it again. But let's jump on into the game, and in the upper left-hand corner of this map, it is going to be a yellow carapace wearing Zerg. It is Spyderslayer.
And in the bottom right-hand corner with the pink carapace, the crowd favorite, one of them anyway, it's Winter.
I love the Polt logo there that he always has.
America.
America indeed. So it looks like Spyderslayer's going to start out with a quick scout here. He wants to see what is up, and going against Winter, who has a variety of strategies. It's always good to know when anything too crazy would be coming. But it looks like fairly nothing out of the ordinary at the moment. Drones being produced by both players. That's always a good sign, depending on what you're looking forward to seeing, I guess. But Spyderslayer definitely being cautious here and wants to see what's up.
And pretty, identical things happening right now is what happens for a lot of mirror matchups in this stage of the game, unless somebody's doing a little bit, something trying to freak their opponent out.
Yeah, but he's going to come on in here and run right. Oh, but Spyderslayer does catch him a little bit. Not quite enough to be able to take the drone out. Man, that drone heals fast, man. He's in the red for about half a second there and heals right up. And looks like Winter desiring to draw a heart, as he frequently does, but not able to get that off with the drone there. Maybe something else was drawing his attention, but he pretty much already lost because no one got to see him draw a heart.
Spyderslayer is putting a lot out on the map. He's got Overlords moving about, and Winter looks like he's also doing the same. They are kind of high-fiving across as they cross past there.
Looks like Gas coming down here for Spyderslayer, the first one to put down Gas, while Winter putting down a slightly earlier pool, and Gas is there to follow. So, I mean, as we've seen in so many of these ZVZs, it is just like an epic control fest. Basically, whoever can control the better gets the slight advantage, and then if they take advantage of it, the game is all downhill from there. But, starting out kind of slow, the macro style here, but Winter still poking around. I'm sorry, Spyderslayer still poking around with his drone here. Does not want to get that lost again, and he's going to be moving on out. But will he come back? No one knows. Expansion's about to finish up here for both players. Pool finishing up for Spyderslayer as well.
And Winter is now making 4 sets of Zerglings there and is getting 2 queens, as Spyderslayer's pool is just now finishing up, and he's getting drones and a single queen.
Yeah, I know both of these players like to be aggressive, so this will be interesting to see as like we mentioned in the previous matches, Spyderslayer definitely practices more on his control and being very aggressive, and that's the style he likes. Winter also does the same, and especially in ZVZ matches, those types of games are always the most interesting. I remember having several matches that were 20 minutes long where the supply never got over 20.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you've got very aggressive Zerg and Zerg opponents. 4 Zerglings are making their way up the natural ramp at this point, and really there's not a whole lot of defense here. This Queen is not ready to go. 2 Lings are on their way out, but 2 more Lings do come down, so now it's an even fight with Lings, and the drones are safe to go back to mining.
Speed at just about the same timing for both players. Spyderslayers will finish up a tad faster than Winters, so if he can keep these Lings out, he will have a little bit of an advantage at that rate. It is 33 to 32 supply. Gas slightly higher for Spyderslayer now. Could be saving up a little bit, but did get that speed down and only has 1 drone mining gas now, whereas Winter still has 3. So Baneling Nest, definitely a thing that Winter likes to do, and that's going to be coming out here. Spyderslayer obviously favors roaches a little bit more frequently, but looks like he has the hologram of a Baneling Nest coming down here as well. But the Banelings of Winter are going to be out a whole lot sooner.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That is going to be something that he's going to have to figure out a way to deal with here.
And he's making a lot of Zerglings. He's intending to be very aggressive here, moving out.
The one thing he does have, Spyderslayer does have speed done now, while Winter's just now completes. Winter also has 18 Zerglings in production, so both players looking to be pretty aggressive here. But Spyderslayer, he needs to get something here to be able to deal with these Banelings or be able to stop them before they pop. But lots of Zerglings here popping for Spyderslayer, but he needs to be really careful these Banelings as they are getting close to being done here.
And his Zerglings are actually just running around the behind there and allowing the opportunity for Winter's Zerglings to kind of come in. He's trying to, he's hopefully getting his Queen there. He does have a little bit of a block with his Banelings there, but the Queen does fall, and now the Banelings are going to as well, and it looks like he's going to avoid the Baneling Nest but move directly in for the drones, taking out this Queen.
He does have a lot of Zerglings about to complete, but it's going to be a long time here before they do, trying to take a fight with the drones, and Spyderslayer just decides to GG.
All right, so very quick game 1.
Yeah, I mean, really, that just came down to Winter decided to put down a Baneling Nest a lot faster than Spyderslayer, and both going for the same thing. I kind of figured that Spyderslayer would go for the roaches there, as that's something that he usually likes to do, and in that case, I think it would have been pretty not so bad with the Queens and maybe a Spinecrawler too with the roaches and Banelings. But, I mean, pure Speedlings against... against Speedlings and Banelings is never a fight that's going to turn out very well.
That's right. And so, you know, you got to wonder what Spyderslayer is going to try and do next.
It was an 8-minute game. There's not a lot to talk about.
Right. I mean, but honestly, like, Spyderslayer and Winter both had kind of similar styles they were going in, and it seemed like Spyderslayer went for the early speed, but he didn't really make, I don't know if he forgot about it or if it just wasn't fitting in with his build right to make that Baneling Nest at the same time that Winter did. And Winter, I think, made a little bit of a fake by sending those 4 Zerglings in early to get that aggressive done.
I definitely don't think it was a mistake because, as you mentioned, kind of going into it, while Winter left his 3 drones in gas, Spyderslayer only left 1 drone in gas, so he was definitely not mining as much. It looked like he was looking to be a little bit more aggressive with the Zerglings and then kind of go with the Banelings as an afterthought. But, I mean, it's pretty much the anti-build counter there that, you know, Winter putting down that Baneling Nest a little bit sooner. I think it was a planned build that Spyderslayer had. It just didn't work out against what was shown by Winter.
Yep, and, I mean, it's hard to win when your Baneling Nest is starting when your opponent's is finishing.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. But we're going to try and get this next match set up here. Before we do that, I want to tell you a little bit about our sponsor today, Mythologic. We are very grateful for their participation in Youmacon 2014 StarCraft 2. As we mentioned a few times, they have supported us throughout the days of many of the events that we've held and put on. And they put up a decent amount of cash to help bounce the prize pool for this event so that we can pay the top 6 players. And as we roll through the tournament, we are weeding out those players here as we go. But we definitely suggest that if you are in the market for a new gaming PC sometime, you check out Mythologic. They make some pretty cool rigs. They definitely focus on their laptops, custom laptops with some pretty cool options that you don't normally see on a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So check them out at mythologic.com or on Twitter at mythologic. Definitely go out and send a tweet to them and say thanks for supporting local esports. They're a fairly local company here to us, and yeah.